Hello and welcome back to Game Brigade. Today we're taking a look at the small box games Aroma, a game of essence. Let's find out if Organic Aromas was able to pull off a game on smell. Hello and welcome back to Game Brigade. I am Brian Greer, and on this show we do reviews, previews, playthroughs, and have conversations about our favorite board games. So if you're new here, please consider hitting the subscribe button and joining the Game Brigade community. So today we are taking a look at Aroma, a game of essence brought to us by Organic Aromas. This is a 2 to 4 box gameplay, but there are actually 4 different games inside the box. There are different play modes for those games. So there is one that's 2 to 4 players, 2 that are 3 to 4, and 1 that is 4. So make sure you are aware of the player group count when buying this box, and don't be deceived in thinking that every game is 2 to 4. I'm not going to do my normal review structure for this one where I go through the gameplay rules because there are 4 different gameplay modes. Basically, I will say what each game mode is like and the differences with them. So the idea of Aroma's gameplays is you're going to be having these essential oils that are located inside of these roller applicators, and you are going to be smelling the scents to try to discover the different types of smell. And on the bottom of every single aroma is a small number, which corresponds to a card here, which has all of the lists of the aromas available for the players. So in some of the games, you are eliminating players by trying to guess what their aromas are. Other games, you are mixing and matching all the aromas, and you're trying to find the ones that match your type of plant. There are ones where you are all guessing and trying to see who can guess the aromas properly. It's a big variety of gameplay modes, but they're all based around scents. Going into this game, when they asked me if I would be interested in covering it, I was unsure. This was unlike any board game that I've ever played. And I wasn't sure how the reception would be for my audience, but I wanted to take a chance. I'm always willing to see what is happening in the industry and what new ideas people are having. So I wanted to take a look at Aroma and give it a fair shot with the 4 games. And I was surprised at how much depth in terms of light party game there is in Aroma. There is quite a bit of fun to be had, but I do want to preface this and say that I do think Aroma fits into a party game atmosphere. I think the most fun that we had with Aroma was when every player was picking up an aroma, trying to smell it. Whew, that is strong. Trying to smell it and figuring out what the heck the scents were. In fact, if there was ever a moment where I wish I did B-roll filming of my playthroughs, it would have been the first time that we played Aroma, because we were laughing so hard as people were trying to guess what scents were and trying to just keep a straight face. I definitely will say there was a good amount of fun had within the first 2 or 3 games. But when we actually broke it down to, okay, let's figure out how these games play, is it enjoyable, and would I recommend it? I do think there is a game here, but I think it's going to be preferenced for specific types of people. I am not a party game person, so it's not something that I generally dive into, but I'm always willing to try every type of game. Aroma was interesting, but definitely not for me. And so when I look at a game like this, I want to make sure that we are being fair. And so we are going to be changing our review structure. In fact, Aroma is kind of triggering this beginning of a new review structure. So we are going to have the Game Brigade reviewer score, which is going to basically be in the category of where I believe this game would fit. In terms of a light party game that is evolving around maybe tactile senses, where do I think the game fits? And then I'll give you my personal score after that. But let's talk about what I liked and then what I didn't like. What I liked about the game, of course, was the social interaction, that party game atmosphere. There was a lot of fun that I was having, and I think that is probably what's going to be the biggest driver for this game. I do think the essential oils are very high quality and very good for smells. Like if you're like sick, you could be like, hey, let me grab one of these ones. I have no idea what makes you feel better, but maybe tea tree, and rub that on me. I don't know. There's more uses to this than just gameplay, which I found it was kind of funny. In terms of the actual gameplay, I didn't care for many of the game modes other than the elimination one. That one seemed to be the most fun because it actually felt like it had the most play to it. But once people started getting an idea of the gameplay mode, we kind of burned through those games pretty quick, and I'd say a game would last about maybe 15-20 minutes at most. I think in terms of what I didn't like was the fact that while they did have 4 game modes, they felt like they were just kind of fillers for, you know, maybe an advertisement for their aromas. I don't know. It didn't feel like there was enough here for me to warrant wanting to own this personally. And I did find that with every scent having a number on the bottom to indicate what it is, players at some point were, you know, as they were guessing, they're flipping these around, you're obviously seeing the bottom of the number. And if you've played enough and you've known that number 11 is lavender, you could guess that. Now, I don't think people inherently cheat when they play games, but this one has more opportunities for the memorization of the numbers on the bottom of these vials to identify what those scents are. So if I was to review this game right now, to give this a Game Brigader reviewer score for a light party game, I would be giving this a 6.4. This was higher in the sense that I think it's a lot of fun. I think the aromas have a good variety of smells and things that you can use for applications. But it's going to be a game that I wouldn't want in my own collection, that I would want in someone else's collection, and I would play a few times and then move on. I definitely think there is something here, and it's interesting that there is a game out there for aroma like applications. I just don't think it's for me. In terms of the Brian Greer score, my personal score, I'm going to give this a 3.1. Unfortunately, it just didn't resonate with me. I have a hard time personally identifying a lot of the scents. My wife, who loves essential oils, she's a big believer in the science behind it, she was nailing every single one, and it felt like I was very much lagging behind and could not identify or discern any of the aromas. The only ones I was able to really tell were lavender and cinnamon and lemon, and I felt like some of the lemon and lime kind of smelled the same to me. So definitely felt like if you don't have a good nose, it could be discouraging. I wouldn't necessarily say that that would be a reason to rate it low, but I just don't think that this game was for me. But I definitely can see why people could enjoy it and would recommend picking it up for that light, different party game. In fact, I think this could be a great gift for someone who is already into essential oils. If you have a family member who is into that type of world, or in terms of those kinds of products, I think Aroma and the products for Organic Aromas would make a great gift. So this was Brian from Game Brigade. I hope you guys liked this quick review for the small box game Aroma, a game of essence. You can probably find this on store shelves now, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I will talk to you all very soon.